Last time we raced, it was a second win in a row for Cody Higbee in Lernerville. Tonight, we go 3 for Dale in a 100-lap show in the Buckeye State. Limaland Motorsports Park is a furious quarter mile with steep banking and one of the most intense cushions we will see this season. The field takes on a tall task to rope up this bull ring if they want to see that checkered flag first. It's set to be an electrifying night, and we are happy to have you here with us live on BRPtv. Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Sleight Electrical 100. Joe Donahue and Jonathan Howe on the mics tonight for Race 3 of the BRP iRacing Series season. Jonathan, last season it was Brandon Plank taking all the crowns and trophies, and this season it's Cody Higbee dominating the early stages. But tonight is a curveball. We go from 2 larger, fast tracks to the tightest, smallest race of the season. Does that change the tone from what we've seen these last 2 weeks?
I think it's got to, because one thing that we've kind of talked about so far through these first 2 races, there's been cautions, but it hasn't been caution-filled. Now you're taking this field, you're putting on a surface where they're going to have a lot less room for error. It could get ugly tonight, Joe. Honestly, that's kind of what I'm expecting, but it's tough to say. I don't really know what to expect from this bunch, because every time I think it's going to be caution-filled, not exactly. It actually is a relatively clean race, but I feel like race 3 might be some chaos.
Yeah, I will say that I agree with that. I think that the beginning of this season really has shown that the guys have been avoiding yellows a little more than maybe what we saw at the beginning of last season. I don't want to jinx it, but I think that we've had a little bit smoother runs, and I know Lernerville happened fast. That was a fast night of racing from the start of the program to the finish, and it definitely translates into the points picture as we now move forward with 2 races down, and it's a pretty tight race, sparing the lead that Cody Higbee's brought to the front, Jonathan.
It's so weird because it feels like Cody hasn't necessarily dominated this season, but he totally has. Like, he's won almost everything there is. He's pretty much got max points on the week, except I think last week he wasn't fast time, so he missed out on that. But when I think back to that first race, he did drop back and fade a little bit, and then was able to fight his way back up, get to the end. Last week, he was pretty much untouchable. So you got to think he's got a good shot to go for the hat trick. Looking at the speed chart, he's not lighting the world on fire right now, only 8th quickest in warm-ups here. But we've seen that maybe sometimes speed on the chart, it hasn't really carried it over by the time we get to the end of a race.
That's fair. It is definitely something that helps, though. This guy, Anthony Roselli, has been the cream of the crop when it comes to the rookies that we've got this season with us. The 2 Rosellis, Nick Sheridan, who conveniently is also second on the board right now. Those guys have been able to show speed the whole way through the night, from practice to the feature, and that's what's put him in a good position as well in the points, because he's sitting in, Anthony Roselli should be, my chart here,
he's third in points.
Yeah. So he's only...
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, so he's only 20 points behind Higbee.
Yeah, he's right there in contention. He's made the most of gaining those bonus points through the heats and quick time and that sort of thing as well. I'm looking over here. It looks like Roselli has scored... he was the fast qualifier last week, which gave him 2 extra bonus points, and he's had some solid finishes. You know, he won one of his heats that he was in so far. Good points situation right there. Nick Sheridan not too far behind in the rookies, though. We really do have a stout rookie field. Nick Sheridan sitting back in 7th in points, only 30 points off of the Cody Higbee right now. So if Higbee slips, things will get really tight up at the top of the standings between not just Cody Higbee, but some of the other veterans of the series, right? You got a Gavin Isley sitting 18 points back right now. Last year's champ, Ryan Beagle, in the mix in the 4th spot. Matt DeRitter doing a great job holding his top 5 spot in points right now. Things looking good so far for a lot of names that we're used to seeing, plus some new guys.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a shaking up the top of the board. I mean, Cody Higbee, Gavin Isley, Matt DeRitter, we're used to seeing those guys at the top of the board. Dan Siders had a great run to start this season off. You got the 2 rookies up in there. Josh Mbowski's up in the top 10. Jeff Sharp's in the top 10 right now as well. It is shaping up a little bit. I won't say it's completely different, because it is a lot of the guys that we're used to seeing at the top of the board, but it's definitely a little bit shook up compared to where we ended off last season, which is what we want to see. We want to see these guys kind of funnel through good runs and bad and make the races interesting and not have everybody winning the same races every year or even winning back-to-back too long. But Cody Higbee, well-deservingly, has won the first 2 races of this 20-race season. And tonight he will look to go and see if he can make that a three-peat. That is what Brandon Plank did last season with the 77X. So we'll see if Cody Higbee can copy that up. As practice comes to a close, Rosselli is going to be at the top of the board to finish that off in front of Nick Sheridan and Alan Sleight. And Jonathan, we get ready for one of the most fast-paced and hectic parts of our evening in the booth, the 3-minute qualifying session.
Yeah, I really don't know who to expect at the top of the board here. I think, I don't know, man. I don't know where we're going to see the speed. Ritter's going to come out here first. And I think the 03 is going to be pretty solid. I expect to see some good things out of Matt DeRitter. Newly designed ride with the Murder graphics and MDR Designs ride. I like this paint scheme. I like the gray on it, Joe.
I'm a big sucker for gray cars, and I really think the shine on that actual logo back there really does wonders in and out of the corners. I love the way it kind of pops when the light hits it right, and then it kind of goes back to that orange. It's a very slick-looking race car. So, yeah, I'm all for gray, as he's currently at the top of the charts. And just as I say it, he gets his lap time busted by this guy, the reigning winner of this race, Ryan Susi.
Susi with a good lap. Al Sleight having a good run there. Was up in the second spot, and he's going to drop back a little bit. Brandon Plank showing some speed early in the 77 up there, second fast. Jamie Porter's up there. Oh, a little spin there from the 80 machine as we see Ryan Beagle also jump to the top of the board. So some familiar faces so far. It's the veterans having a good run so far. It doesn't look like too many of the rookies have gone yet, so we'll see. Nick Sheridan posted 6th fastest, but yeah, a lot of the main contenders. Now we'll see where Cody Higbee runs as he gets a little sideways on that lap.
Yep, but he's going to take the top spot, 13.131. He's got himself, 300th of a second over Ryan Susi at the end of it. This is Anthony Rosselli. We're looking to see him go to the top of the board. He will start off P9 with his first lap. And he's going to be the last driver to put in the lap times. We'll see. He ran the low line. Does that help or hurt the number 7? His second lap is not as good as his first, so he is going to be stuck in 10th at the end of qualifying here. And everybody's put in their 2 laps, so anybody left on the racetrack right now, just getting a little bit extra practice in before the race. But, hey, that can pay dividends.
Definitely. Cody Higbee, quick time, Susi, Beagle, Plank, Porter. All 5 guys that I could easily see on the top step of the podium later tonight. Joe, I'm starting to think that maybe what we should be watching for is veteran presence. I think the guys that we consistently see towards the front at the end of the season in the standings are going to be the ones to threaten for this win. I think just this tight, tricky track, that's going to play right into some of their hands, you know?
I definitely agree with that, and I guess that's going to be part of the championship all the way down is how long can you make your momentum and your success last? Do you get those top 5s every week? Are you capable of doing that? You know, if you're a rookie, maybe there are going to be tracks we go to that you're not quite as attuned to, especially when it comes to racing the big block in this group, in this setting, that, you know, some of those guys who have raced with us for a couple seasons, they will be able to keep that momentum up. So that's going to be something definitely that we're going to watch as the rest of the season goes on, but in short term, also the rest of tonight. And speaking of the rest of tonight is the Sleight Electrical 100. Thank you to Al Sleight for partnering up and sponsoring the race this evening. He is a longtime supporter of this series, so there's a link in the description to Sleight Electrical's Facebook page to go check out what's going on over there. As we get ready for the first heat race of the night, your pole sitter going to be the Iceless, number 97, 2 race wins in a row. Can he go for a 3-peat tonight? That's Cody Higbee. To his outside, going to be the 77X of Brandon Plank out of New York. Starting on the inside of row number 2, the 045 car, the Canadian driver, his rookie season with us, Dick Sheridan, and to his outside, another rookie is going to be the number 7 of Anthony Rosselli. They call him the Ice Chip. Starting in 5th place for this heat race is going to be the 88J out of Middletown, New York, the Johnny Service Station, and Chuck Lacey Plumbing and Heating Machine of Tyler Joshimbowski. To his outside is going to be the Beef and the Beef Esports House Car, Corby Daniels. Starting off P7 is the Teach in the Murder Graphics number 33 out of New York is Pat Reiser. And to his outside in car number 97 out of St. Catharines, Canada, the 47 Technology Fast Lane Landscaping Niagara Go-Karts Machine of Richie Pereira. That's the field. Jonathan, 8 laps for heat race number 1. They're coming to you.
Getting ready to roll here and kick things off. Bringing them in slow to the green. Jump goes to Plank on the outside. He definitely got the good start there. From the bottom line, it looks like Higbee can't really get through 1 and 2. That's going to allow Plank to nose ahead into 3 and 4. He slides up the racetrack, still door to door. Maybe 3-wide battle for the lead on the first lap.
They're getting there. Sheridan goes all the way to the bottom. He's going to hit those tires down on the inside of the racetrack. And it is a fight now in between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. Higbee goes all the way up to the top side of the racetrack. Rosselli stuck in the middle. It's not going to pay in for him. Is Higbee going to try to slide in and through to the bottom? Put something together for Plank. Brandon Plank really got lucky that he started on the outside because he had all that space to just go up, get that momentum, and take over this race lead.
Once again, we're going to have to watch which lane is the prevailing lane around this racetrack. Outside definitely appears to be the place on the starts and restarts, but I don't know. I kind of like what I'm seeing from the bottom lane. Like it's hard to get the momentum wound up to keep even. Like, we're watching this battle with the 97 and the 77. Plank on the outside is able to just get that power down and nose ahead. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Cody Higbee down on the bottom. And if more guys go to the top, it's going to be important to get that bottom lane working.
Absolutely it is. The more you work in the racetrack, the more that predominant line is going to change, and that might pay in as the race goes on. We got 2 laps to go. It's a half mile of racing left in heat race number 1. The battle now between 3rd, 4th, and 5th place. These are for bonus paying positions. Rosselli, Nick Sheridan, and Tyler Joshimbowski trying to make a show of things. Richie Pereira maybe trying to catch up to him. Not quite going to get there. One more time around for your heat race leader, Brandon Plank.
Down the back straightaway for the final time and into 3 and 4. It's Brandon Plank showing his muscle. He'll knock off Cody Higbee for the first time in a heat race. And Higbee brings it home 2nd. Rosselli is able to steal 3rd away. Good racing from heat number 1. I like what we saw there. I like what we saw in Joe. I think this tricky, tight track's going to be one to watch tonight.
I definitely agree with that. It's already shaping up to be a very interesting and dynamic racing surface, and we've only got 8 racing laps in. Let's go for another 8. Heat race number 2, starting off from the pole. Car number 38, the reigning winner of this race in the Murder Graphics number 38 car. That's Ryan Susi. To his outside, another car painted by Murder Graphics, conveniently. That's the number 45. They call him the Pistol out of Welland, Ontario. He wasn't here last week in the Evergreen Thrift Store, St. Catharines Marine and Machine, but Jamie Porter is back on the block and ready to rock. Starting from 3rd place, the Sleight Electrical number 2, host of the evening out of Ontario is Alan Sleight. Starting 4th place, the Murder Graphics MDR Designs Beef Esports BRPtv number 03, that's Matt DeRitter. Starting in 5th place, Dirt Car Dean in the Super Dirt Car Series number 79, Dean Reynolds, going from 6th place, making his first appearance of the season. With us, the Seaway Fluid Power Bicknell Racing Products number 71, that's Liam Daniels. And rounding out the tail, going to be Adam Hilton in the Roar Logistics number 3A. 8 more laps, 7 drivers. Let's see who gets it. Green flag coming to him. Ryan Susi, will he wait as long this time? He does. So him and Higbee, they waited a while to get the things rolling, and it looks like Jamie Porter might be able to capitalize here.
Porter from the outside having a look to the lead spot. Susi slides up into the middle groove, gets a pretty good launch off the middle side of the racetrack. So maybe not the extreme bottom, maybe the middle could be where you want to work things in. Looks like DeRitter had a run there, and he had to check up to avoid the back of Ryan Susi as Porter works to the outside of our leader.
Yeah, it definitely looked like Susi had a little bit of a bobble there that put him in position to get that little tap in the back from Matt DeRitter. As Jamie Porter, he's just finding enough up top. I won't say he's finding enough to really take over, but he's just getting enough of a run off the top side of the racetrack to get around Susi, who did a really good job on those first 2 laps of kind of snookering where Porter could run, and that kept the 38 in position, but now Jamie Porter's got the gates open and he's tearing off.
Yeah, Porter driving away with it, although Susie comes back at him there, closes the gap just a little bit into 1 and 2, down into 3 and 4. Looks like through the middle of the corners, the 38 has really got some solid speed, but he kind of gives up on the exit there. It kind of just all goes away from him, Joe. Just talk to him. In this game, it always fascinates me how tricky it is to keep the throttle down, and I feel like, I'm used to console life where sometimes if you have the right driving assists on, you can just mash the gas and hope for the best. Not the case in iRacing.
No, that is not the case in iRacing, especially not in a dirt car, and especially not on a track like this. You really have to be smart about the throttle pedal and mind your P's and Q's, everything going on around you too, especially with how big these race cars are. Final lap coming to a close here. Jamie Porter is going to take heat race number 2. In his return, nice run for him as Ryan Susie's going to come home P2. Matt DeRitter and Alan Sleight will round out the top 4 in the second heat race of the evening, and we'll line up 7 more drivers and put together heat race number 3. So starting from pole, he's the reigning champion of this series. They call him the Big Dog. The RK Automotive Ackland Insurance machine is Ryan Beagle. To his outside, sometimes we call him the Catfish, sometimes we call him the Gas Man. Depends where he's running on the track. The Performance Automotive Showtime Custom Wraps number 18 of Gavin Isley. Rolling off P3 in car number 28 out of New York is Jeff Sharp, and to his outside is going to be the number 60, also from New York in the Phase 3 Racing Jam Performance machine is Brian Berger. On the inside of row number 3, car 49 out of Pennsylvania, the RockAuto.com Icon Performance car is Dean Meitzler. And to his outside is going to be your co-host of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show, Jonathan, Travis Cunningham, driving the Bowens Automotive Tammy 10 Media Southern Ontario Dirt Show machine. And rounding out the field in the final heat race of the night, representing Monticello, New York, in the Van Sickle Electric 5L Enterprises car, it's Dominic Rosselli. And my friend Jonathan, we got a really good lineup in row number 1. Is the same going to happen? Or are we going to go a little bit earlier? What are you anticipating on the start here?
Tough to say. I feel like you got to give the advantage to Isley being on the outside once again, but if the Big Dog punches it at the right time, he may have enough to clear, and he definitely punched it at a pretty good time. I would say of all the battles on the front row, he definitely had the best shot into corner number 1. Now on the outside, Gavin Isley way up against the wall there, trying to get that power down, and he'll try to clear and will do so as we got cars bobbling at the back of the pack. Looks like everybody's going to be able to keep going, though. Yeah,
Meitzler and Dominic Rosselli got into each other a little bit there, but they stay clear, and we stay green as now Gavin Isley takes over the race lead pretty easily over Ryan Beagle. Brian Berger and Jeff Sharp still putting together a good race here. Let's go on board with Brian Berger and see what it's like inside of this machine. Kind of a gyro cam, but you're going to be able to see just how tight things get in the middle of the corners and why we're really going to have to watch out in the feature tonight with that problem we faced a little bit earlier in this season where somebody comes into a corner a little faster than the guy in front of him and a little bit of a love tap results. We'll have to watch out as that happens, but there's still enough life in the track now, Jonathan. We really aren't worried about that quite yet.
The one thing I'm optimistic about is that it does seem like it's going to be a multi-groove night. I don't think we're going to see any kind of freight training around the outside. I think the middle is always going to be effective, and even when that burns up, I think there's going to be some speed down on the low lines of this racetrack. So, Joe, I'm liking what I'm seeing from the facility after 3 heat races, I should say. Feature, I am encouraged. You got to be encouraged if you're a fan of Gavin Isley right now, as he is driving away.
Yes, he is. Him and Beagle have made a pretty good gap between themselves and Sharp and Berger's battle. That's for third place. The white flag comes out this time, though. Gavin, going to have to be careful. Ryan Beagle tried to get down low. He gained the time into the corner and kind of lost it out. I think it's going to go to Gavin Isley this time as Beagle tries one more time. To no avail, Gavin Isley, the third heat race winner of the evening over Ryan Beagle, and I think Jeff Sharp just barely edges out for third.
Good racing there once again, Joe. I'm looking forward to what Limaland's going to give us here. This is so far the most optimistic I am that I think you're going to need to be able to run anywhere to win this race. I don't think the top side is going to be it's going to be the prevailing line, I think, but I don't think it's going to be dominant like we've seen in some of the other tracks thus far.
I think that's very fair. I wouldn't say that anything's set, and especially with the way that the track's going to come in, because one of the things I feel like those heat races, the track developed a lot, but we didn't lose any of the racetrack yet. There's still a lot of grip low and high and in the middle, so that just means we're going to have a very dynamic 100-lap feature.
Definitely, and I think in general, I think this surface, I feel like the middle is going to be the one that, if you can make that line work, you're going to be pretty successful tonight. I just see that middle groove as a great passing opportunity because you're not sacrificing curvature to get the car pointed down the back straightaway like you are on the extreme low line, but you also are shortening the racetrack just enough that you should have an advantage on some of your competitors. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from this facility. Limaland is quickly becoming one of my favorite tracks.
Limaland is a hard track to drive, but I think that is what makes it such an exciting race for us. Because first off, we don't have to drive, but it makes the guys make mistakes. It makes them stay on edge. It makes the racing close. It makes the racing exciting. It's all of the things that we really want out of an event, and for ourselves and for the fans, it gives you and I a lot more to talk about, and it gives the fans a lot more to watch. So this is definitely why, Cedar Lake, Limaland, Lanier, the racetracks that stick on the calendar and always bring a big crowd to watch for this series. Would love if I-55 was still around. I love I-55. Pevely is a great racetrack, but we were there at this week last season. Race 3 was at I-55, and this year we will not be going to I-55. So Limaland's going to have to take that place. But Jonathan, I think you're right, and I really like the short track racing with these big cars too.
Yeah, it's been exciting to say the least when we've been here. So I think, Joe, I'm still picking I'm looking at the practice lineup here. The speeds are a little bit different, a little bit of a shakeup. You see Josh Mbesky at the top of the board. I still think it's going to be one of those veterans. It's going to be one of those drivers that knows how to put together an entire season online here on iRacing that's going to get it done.
I would agree with that.
The question I've got for you, is this the Cody Higbee show? Does he get the hat trick tonight or no?
He got beat by Brandon Plank, and Brandon Plank is no slouch. Jamie Porter is back. He's running real strong. Ryan Susi showed strength, and he won this race last year. So it might not be so easy for Higbee. I'm not going to count him out. That would be dumb. But I think he's got a little bit more competition tonight than maybe he's seen in the first two races.
I think that's a fair statement. Brandon Plank is a wild card to me. I think you give that guy track position like he's going to have here tonight. If he doesn't make a mistake, if he doesn't get taken out, he's tough to beat, man. I just don't see how you get around him. But that's kind of the exciting part of this whole series and what we're going to have to deal with. The other thing I'm wondering, Joe, is I know I predicted chaos with the smaller track and less room, more room for error. If for whatever reason that prediction's wrong, and we get a long run of green flag laps, wondering here if, I don't know, lap traffic plays a big factor. I've really been optimistic that lap traffic is going to be the thing that gives us a really amazing finish one of these times. Now, it always seems that we get that late race caution to reset things in either 10 lap dash or 5 lap dash or even a green white checker. But I really think lap traffic here be detrimental to whoever's out front.
Oh, yeah, 100%. If I remember correctly, the race we had at Limaland last season had lap traffic. I think this would probably be the place it's going to happen. So I think Fairbury, when we go to Fairbury, if there's lap traffic, that's maybe a little more influential because Fairbury is very dominant on the top line most of the time. But it's going to make this race super exciting, and I would agree. If there's anywhere it's going to happen, I think it's going to happen here. So as the warm-up session's going to end, Tyler Joshambowski almost did. Cody Higbee ended up beating him out with the fastest lap time in practice. So the 97 car showing he's got the speed to continue forward as they'll group him up, line him up, 2 laps of time before they get the green flag. So they'll roll for 2 laps, and then we'll go 100 caution laps counting. and 22 drivers. Brandon Plank going to bring us from the pole. Jamie Porter to his outside. Then it's Gavin Isley and Cody Higbee in row 2. Row 3's got Ryan Susi and Ryan Beagle, the two Ryans there together. Anthony Roselli and Matt DeRitter make up row 4. Row 5 is Brian Berger and Nick Sheridan. Then you've got Alan Sleight, Jeff Sharp, Tyler Joshimbowski, Adam Hilton, Dominic Roselli, Richie Pereira, Dean Reynolds, and then Dean Meitzler, then Corby Daniels, then Liam Daniels. What is with everybody with the same names getting stuck together? Travis Cunningham and the Teach Pat Reiser rounds them out. So 100 laps. We want to make a shout-out quick before the race starts to Murder Graphics, MDR Designs, the Southern Ontario Dirt Show, 47 Technology, Creative Turnings, Dig Race Products, and, of course, Alan Sleight and Sleight Electrical for partnering and sponsoring with us this evening. Jonathan, 22 cars. The sun's coming in and out. I've noticed that in this session. Do you think the overcast nature of this evening is going to affect things?
I mean, if it stays overcast, you got to think that's going to keep a little extra life in the racetrack, as opposed to if it's just were to be a sunny day in the game. But I don't know what to expect from this. Every time I think I know what I'm talking about with this, I get a little bit of a surprise, and here we go. A surprise from the outside. Jamie Porter to the lead early, but Plank fighting back on the inside as the field fans out. Definitely stacking up towards the back of the field, running out of room, running out of space already. Lap 1 going to go to Jamie Porter as they're almost 4 wide in the back of the field.
Look at the racing going on right now all over this racetrack. Amazing stuff. We are about 4 wide, a little bit of love between Sharp and Sleight there. The mid-pack, that's a hell of a lot of race car as they are staying in good shape. They're staying off each other pretty good. I don't want to curse it, but look at this racing. This is exciting.
It's early. There's everybody minding their P's and Q's, but we've got 100 laps of this to get through before we can call this a clean and green race. But up at the front, all Jamie Porter, Brandon Plank back to second from the pole. Cody Higbee lurking there in third as they kind of jam up from about 4th on back, maybe 5th on back, as Ryan Susi had to lift there to maybe avoid getting in the wall. Here comes Gavin Isley, the Catfish. Not a surprise to see him going where nobody else is and working that extreme low line to try to break his way up inside the top 3.
And he looks like he's about to do it, too. He gets past Higbee for the moment, at least. Higbee gets the run off the top. Momentum carries, but now Brandon Plank moves up in front of him. Trying a diamond line for the 97. They go 3 wide again, and now Higbee, at least at the line, was ahead of Isley. And Jamie Porter still leading this thing, but, man, he is barely leading this thing.
And he's got to be enjoying what he's seeing out back, though. As long as those 3 of those cars keep battling, that's going to hold back Brandon Plank from getting a run at him. It looks like Cody Higbee's going to drop back out of that battle and go to the high side. Meanwhile, good little battle here for the 5th position on the racetrack. Susi has it, last year's winner here at Limaland, if I'm not mistaken. And look at Nick Sheridan thread the needle through the middle. He's trying to get both Susi and the big dog Ryan Beagle, and he will.
Man, if you would have told me that a rookie was going to come in this season and slice Beagle and Susi like that at a track that Susi won at and Beagle coming off of being the champion, I probably wouldn't have believed that. Nick Sheridan is showing his stuff and strutting it at Limaland right now. As I was bringing us back to this group, because they were closing in the middle of that battle, they were still closing on Gavin Isley. So now Nick Sheridan's got open track, and he's got that 18 right on target.
And speaking of closing, things getting awfully tight back at the front of this field as Brandon Plank takes the lead. And 3 wide down the front stretch. Jamie Porter back to the point in the 45. And look at Cody Higbee down low. He wants to nose ahead to the top spot.
Yeah, but Higbee probably should have come up across the racetrack if he wanted to protect a little. He stayed down low. Porter leads at the line. Higbee's still got the bottom. And Brandon Plank moves into the lead now. This is a fantastic race for the lead.
13 laps into a 100-lap show. We've run them clean and green thus far, and it's a good 3-car battle. Maybe make it a 4-car battle at the front, as here comes Plank to drive away from it. Now Porter back to the extreme outside. He'll ride around the cushion, and using that middle groove is Cody Higbee. He sits there in third. Ooh, couple cars. It almost looks like a few guys are tapping the wall just a little bit. I've seen that white smoke pop up ever so slightly, Joe. Now, talk to me about iRacing and its mechanics. If you give like a little Darlington stripe, how much is that going to take away from the race car?
With this car, not a ton, but you have to be so careful when you do that. Because if you hit the wall just even a little bit too much, it's going to register damage on your race car and it's going to drive completely different. So you have to be very careful when you do that, but you definitely have a little more leeway than if we were running sprint cars. That's for sure. The damage model on these cars has been updated, but it's not as intense as an open wheel car, like the Formula One cars and the Super Formula car, compared to maybe it's sort of an older model. We got a yellow out on the track, and I think the sponsor of the race. Oh, and look out, the race leader got stuck there. Wow, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that thing is totaled at the front for Al Sleight. That is horrible to see. Of course, this is the Al Sleight Sleight Electrical 100. So Al, jumps on board, sponsors this race, and we'll see what happens to him here on this replay. Looks like he's coming out of turn 4, Joe? Back to the front stretch?
This is turn 2 here. Oh, no, he's going to come out of turn 2, and the accident's going to happen. That was turn 4, and then something's going to happen here. It might just be a little bit of contact. Yeah, I think Josh Mbowski just so close, and then Rosselli's coming in, and that's where the real Ooh, man, hip check.
And hard into the outside wall. Lucky it stayed on all fours. Oh, I say that. Let's say. Oh, yeah. He saved it.
Yeah, it came back
Adam
down.
Anderson would be proud of that.
Oh, well.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. I think it's going to roll back over here. To mention on that Dominic Rosselli contact there, you're the resident Canadian, Jonathan. You might be able to call whether or not that would have been cross-checking.
I don't think we call that cross-checking so much as more of like a hip check, but it's a hip check that definitely went wrong for Al Sleight there, as his night in trouble early, as we are going back to green now. And around the outside, it's still Brandon Plank out front, having a good run in the 77. He seems to, like I say, Joe, he seems to be the car that if he's out front, you got to work pretty hard to get around him. I almost wonder if Jamie Porter, we saw him out front, we saw him get past. I almost wonder if that 45 realizes, hey, it's early, I need to save a little so that I've got something for Plank if I have a shot at him later on.
That's definitely an important part of this because the tires do wear out over the course of this run, and once the track slicks off, you really got to be careful with them. You're going to burn those tires up and not have any grip to be able to compete any further, but you got to look for where there's a little bit of moisture right now, and might as well jump. That's what Van Halen said. You may as well go for it now and try to get at least in good position because there's still a little life up top. Looks like there's still a little bit of life down low. There's a little bit in the middle too, and you got to use that up first. So once that's done, then it's maybe a little more careful on the throttle. But for now, I would want Brandon Plank behind me right now. I think I wouldn't want him. Because we know Brandon Plank can really build a gap if you let him. I wouldn't want him to do that right now.
Well, Gavin Isley must be hearing what you're saying because he just threaded the needle through the middle, went from 4th to 2nd, and now he's taking a run at Plank. He's going to have to play defense once again as here comes Porter and Higbee back at him, and Nick Sheridan right there in the battle. I talked to Nick a little bit in the week, and he mentioned that so far in the series, being a rookie, one of the things that he's adjusting to is that very fact you were just talking about, Joe, not burning up those tires, making sure he's got something to work with at the end of the race. Being up front early in this one, if he can maintain this track position, that'll definitely go a long way to making sure that he's got some car and some tire life left at the end of this race.
Yeah, and that might bode into why we see him racing the way he does. A lot of these guys are probably trying to hold off on burning up the tires at the start, and he might be pushing it a little harder than the rest of them. We are a third of the way into this race. That only means we've got 2/3 of race left, so it's not time to be using up the rubber quite yet. You still got a lot of laps to go, and for the moment, he's doing a really great job of holding on with Jamie Porter and Brandon Plank, but that is the question. Is he burning up those tires too fast?
Well, here comes the sunshine once again as well as the overcast. Maybe it's starting to cloud over just a little bit, but if we see more of this sun throughout this 100 laps, that's not going to help these guys in terms of preservation of tires because this surface will dry out much faster and it'll be harder to find those wet spots.
Yes, it definitely will. That is going to be a factor into the track surface as we continue forward. Right now, it looks like it's pretty much a train race around the top side of the racetrack. Brandon Plank leading Jamie Porter, Nick Sheridan, Cody Higbee, and Gavin Isley. That's the top 5. In front of DeRitter, Susie Beagle, and then the 2 Rossellis make up the end of the top 10. It looks like we've got a very dominant racetrack up top. So now with Jamie Porter sending a slider, he's going to show us, is there anything down low? You got to try. Oh, no, contact. Oh, and we got...
Oh, no! Behind them.
A yellow comes out for that incident, although we probably could have gotten away without a yellow, I think. Just double-checking back further in the field that there was no other incident that we missed. Now, that might have been... I mean, it was good to throw the yellow to slow everybody down. That probably would have ended up in a crash anyway, but a little quick, a little trigger-happy on that yellow that time. But we'll catch a replay back on what it costed.
I mean, you were watching that. If you're watching the stream at home, you saw the wall ride from Nick Sheridan, and that's really what put us out under yellow. This big slider here from Porter doesn't quite work out, but he's able to keep it off of Plank. And it was really impressive to see how much momentum he was still able to generate coming from the bottom side, and that's what brought these 2 cars together. As you see, Plank gets turned with a little love tap. Porter's got to jump out of it. So does Sheridan. Sheridan jumps out of it, and he goes into the wall, and they just start stacking up. And it really could have got ugly from there, but I think besides Sheridan, everybody got away pretty cleanly, Joe. And even Sheridan, I don't know how much damage he's going to have to that 045 ride. He's got track position still, so we'll see if the car fades on this restart.
I definitely see why that was a yellow so quickly. And I don't think Sheridan's going to have that much damage. I think he'll be okay. Well, hell yeah, he's okay. Look at him freaking going for the race lead off the restart. Look out for the 45 car. Brandon Plank's got company from both of them, actually. Porter and Sheridan side by side here. Porter looks high. Big time into the wall.
Yeah, Porter ran out of room there. And look at Sheridan go for the lead. No fear, Nick. Just keeping it down on the bottom, and he'll slide up to the top spot. Can he keep the lead? Oh, wow, look at the crossover move. I think Plank was able to get him back at the stripe. Yes, he did. Gavin Isley down to the bottom side. And do we have a caution? Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. And I think it's Adam Hilton bringing it this time. Adam's been involved in a couple incidents this season. Unfortunately, we're going to add another tally to that list. And let's find out what went wrong for the 3A. Oh, this is going to include the beef, too, by the looks of it.
So Hilton working the bottom side, running up on the backside of Richie Pereira.
It's going to be something into 3.
All clean so far.
Yeah.
Looks like he's going to get into...
Oh, look at that.
Look it up on the top side.
That was synchronized.
Yeah.
And there's the beef.
Cunningham gets a touch of it.
Mm-hmm. Now
Beef gets a piece of it.
Meitzler got out of that clean. Unfortunately, Adam Hilton's... So the 2 of them both got rear-ended into the turn number 3. It's just that Hilton was the one that really got the short end of the stick. They both...
Was that Pat Reiser that got into Meitzler there, I think?
Yes. Yep. So that's what's going to bring us that yellow flag, but it allows Nick Sheridan to take over the race lead. And
he's in the wall.
They're banging the boards off the restart, trying to... Oh, look out. He got a little bit of a clip of it into the corner, but he recovered. Nick Sheridan leading the way.
I'm sticking with my new nickname for this guy, No Fear Nick. I've seen him do some wild stuff and then absolutely send a 360 sprint car around tracks here in Southern Ontario, and he's got even less fear in this game, honestly. He is motoring and making it work at the front now. He talked about it. I mentioned it earlier. Can he save while leading this race? Can he conserve? Or will a veteran like Brandon Plank be able to push that 045 into either making a mistake or burning up his stuff as we have hit the halfway point of this race, Joe?
Halfway down, Nick Sheridan. I think Nick's doing everything he needs to do. The only thing I wonder about, and we'll actually go on board and check this out, how well is he managing the throttle? Because he's got that line that I know last year Ryan Susie used the wall to his advantage. And let's just go quiet and listen for a lap here, see what Nick Sheridan's doing. All right, Jonathan, what do you make of that? I feel like we're a little more sideways than I'd want to be, but throttle sounds okay.
Throttle definitely sounds okay. Even the sideways, I don't mind the sideways. See, that I don't love. I feel like he might be over-rotating on exit, although it appears that there's a caution, so I'm not going to judge that corner fully. But we'll see. Is Brandon Plank the caution?
Oh, my goodness gracious. This is going to be interesting.
What has happened?
Let's check out the replay here. Oh, my goodness gracious. This is a very rare occurrence. I think this is a Brandon Plank mistake. We'll have to wait and see here.
He's got Porter behind him.
We'll see if this shapes
all
up.
Clean through here.
Is this going to shape up into anything? It's going to be into 3 here. Here's where it's going to be happening.
So he's coming down the front stretch or the back stretches. Oh, it's Porter. Porter tagged him. Oh, no. And look at Josh Belsky. He's got nowhere to go. 3, 4 cars. Is that Anthony Roselli that piles in and D-Rose that's in there?
Mm-hmm. Brian Berger gets a
Berger
piece.
as well.
Meitzler and Reiser a little bit. I want to go back one more. I'm going to see if I can pause this at the right time. Okay.
So maybe there's actually no contact. Maybe it's that, what was that error you were talking about in the game where the cars, it seems like they might touch, but they're not touching kind of thing?
That is what we call net code. I'll show it one more time
net
here.
Code, thank you.
That's this is the dictionary definition of net code, and we're going to have to jump back because the race is about to restart. That, where the cars aren't touching, that's net code, and that's what caused this yellow. So we're going to jump back to live. They're already back to racing again, and I think Plank came out of the pits there to get back onto the racing surface. Battle going on for the lead. Cody Higby's back in the picture. Nick Sheridan trying to hold on to it with Porter and Isley there in tow. Cody Higby's the one trying to find a little bit of grip in the middle right now.
Well, that's one less driver that Sheridan's going to have to play defense from, as Brandon Plank looked to be maybe the best car in the field tonight. Porter has shown speed. Cody Higby's had flashes as well, as he's having a flash towards the front of the field, looking to maybe pull the slider on the kid. Can't do it. Nick Sheridan's going to hang on the outside, but Higby this time, I thought he was going to take the chance and slide up in front of him. Maybe one more lap before he can make that slide job work.
If we were 30 laps closer to the finish, I think he would have closed that off, but we've got plenty of time left in this race, so Higby's probably not going to do anything that... Oh, my God. Man, he heard me talk, and he said, I gotta make a commentator's curse happen here. Oh, boy, is he going to thread that needle? Oh, he tried. Oh, and there goes a big slider.
I feel like we need a sound drop of Dale Jr. yelling slide job for this racing we're seeing right now. Holy. Sheridan and Higby just trading slide jobs, jab for jab, blow for blow, and they're still racing at the front of the field for this lead. This is great.
Whoa.
Oh, Gavin Isley in the ball. Oh, he hangs on to it, though, and I think we're going to stay green, but he fenced it pretty hard there, and he'll lose a spot to Porter.
Yep, Porter back into the top 3. Sheridan and Higby still continuing this slide and be-slid situation. Now it changes up a little bit. Sheridan stays low. Does it work? It does not. So finally somebody breaks the rhythm. Nick Sheridan, unfortunately, is going to fall heed to Cody Higby once again, the 97 car out front.
Cody Higby driving away. Nick Sheridan's falling back to second, but still in pretty good position here. It just doesn't seem like he's getting the drive off to keep up with Cody Higby. Cody Higby using that middle groove, right? He points it all the way against the wall pretty much, I guess, for the first corner, then points it down the hill in the middle of the corner, and that's where he's getting such a great drive off, using the hill to charge down the straightaways. It's a really unique line. We haven't seen it used yet tonight, but it's working for the 97, and it looks like the 045 of Sheridan's adopted that line now as well.
He's trying to do the same, because I think at this point, I mean, look at that gap. That's almost a second gap on a quarter mile. He's probably going to need a yellow to get back into contention. Actually, maybe lap traffic. But he's going to need something to happen to Higby to be able to touch him. Whereas he's probably just going to have to commit to the idea of following the tire tracks and doing what Higby does. Because if this rhythm doesn't break, I think Sheridan's going to have to settle for second. And I know there's 30 laps left, but I might call that shot a little early. Higby just has it down.
Yeah, looking strong right now at the front of the field is Cody Higbee. Ryan Beagle back in the mix, the big dog moving his way forward up inside the top 5, looking for third spot on Jamie Porter down low. But you can see just not getting the drive off he needs to make the moves as Gavin Isley back in the mix. And here comes the 80 ride as well.
Dominic Rosselli having a great run. As it should be noted, his brother, Anthony, has called it. He has taken that car, the 7 car, albeit to the trailer, and he will not be finishing the 100-lap feature. Neither will Alan Sleight. Unfortunately, that crash a while ago seems to have been the end of Alan's night. Adam Hilton also just recently took the 3A to the trailer. So we've got 3 down and out of the 22. That means we've got 19 cars left on the track. We've got 4 lapped cars, DeRitter, Plank, Liam Daniels, and Tyler Joshimbowski. And that leaves 15 on the lead lap, as we've got 25 laps to go, and a great battle going on here from 3rd to 5th place.
Yeah, it's absolutely good action. And, I mean, it feels like, Joe, the way that Cody Higbee's driving right now, it's going to take a caution or it's going to take lap traffic. But even lap traffic, I don't know if we've got enough cars even left for him to catch right now. I don't know if we can get a shot that's a little bit more of a wide angle. You can see he's reeling in the beef, but even in front of the beef, there's some distance to the rest of the tail end of the field. So it's going to take more than a few laps here for Cody Higbee to catch some serious and maybe slow lap traffic. Coming up on, 21, going to be 20 laps to go here shortly. I think the hat trick is very much doable. Cody Higbee, what else can we say about this guy?
We can say he's very fast. We can say that. He has been, thus far, perfect in this season. And, I mean, he almost won the championship last year. It shouldn't come to a surprise to see him performing well, but he has stepped up his game, and he's ready to go for a championship again, except this time, maybe take it a step further.
One thing I'll say, too, about Cody Higbee in this season, there's obviously a component of this that you got to be good, but you also got to be lucky, too. He was right there in that mix when everything stacked up involving Brandon Plank, and we could be talking about Cody Higbee on the trailer. Instead, we're talking about him at the front of the field. There's a little bit of luck in this game for sure in the racing world. We all know that, and Cody Higbee's been good, and he's been lucky to avoid some troubling situations thus far early in the year.
That is a great point, Jonathan, because what happened to Plank, especially considering that it was netcode, could have happened realistically to anybody. So you do make a great point. It's not just about the skill level, which this series has a very high level of skill amongst every driver, but the luck factor is pretty big. And I think Tyler Joshimbowski is a name that comes to mind for me when you talk about someone with poor luck. Adam Hilton has not had good luck to start this season. Travis Miller, somebody else who kind of gets shafted once in a while. He had
a great run rolling last week, and then this week wasn't able to make it. I believe he's got a moving situation right now, so I'm not sure if he even has internet to be set up. But if the Thriller is watching, we miss you out there, Travis. Hopefully you're back in this next week, because I'm sure you're watching some of these guys and you're thinking, I could have beat them. I could do this. I could do better. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who watch this and think, oh, I could definitely jump on iRacing and do it. But I'm telling you, Joe, all the times that I've hopped into an iRacing setup at like a buddy's house or anything like that, I have struggled immensely. So I have a serious appreciation for how the quality of racing that we're seeing from these guys and just how good this field is in the BRPtv iRacing series.
Oh, 100% I agree with that, Jonathan. I mean, I have iRacing and I use it regularly just to putt around and have fun and do online races and whatever. And I've jumped in practice races with these guys to set up cars and test things out. And if I was in this race right now, I would be 25 laps down. These guys, they have this down pat, and just I don't. And a lot of people probably don't have it quite as figured out as this group, especially guys like Cody Higbee, Ryan Beagle, Gavin Isley, Travis Miller. I mean, there's a lot of talent behind the wheel of these cars, even with this being a video game. We are talking ourselves towards the 5-lap to go mark. Cody Higbee using all of that talent to his advantage, and just as I said oh my, we got a caution. To figure out who this is for.
Now, I don't know. I think that I do want to give I just saw a little message here. Want to give a shout out once again to Al Sleight and the Sleight Electrical guys. Thanks for being a part of the show, Al. Make sure that you do click fast repair next time that you're involved in an incident, because I guess that's why that we do not see that 2-car back out there, as he did not get a chance to hit the fast repair, Joe. But have we figured out where this caution is yet?
No, we're gonna keep checking here. It's not. No, is this where the yellow's out? Is the yellow out at this point? Let's find out. The yellow is out. Okay.
Yeah,
so
yellow's waving.
where is the problem? Is it Josh Mbowski? Let me try one more time. I'm not really sure where this yellow was. No, it wouldn't have been him. I am kind of at a loss. I'm not sure what the yellow was for. Oh, you know what? It might have been DeRitter. I don't know. We're getting back to green. We got to jump back in. The problem with this track being so small is we don't have time to check for replays. We basically need to know what's going on right away. Elsewise, yeah. Something's gone wrong with timing and scoring, because it's putting Pat Reiser in the lead, and he was not in the lead before. So we'll have... Yeah,
but
that's...
Porter's in the lead from
Oh, my
Cody
God.
Higbee.
What the hell is even that? Look out, look out. Holy cow. Yellow's out, yellow's out.
Yeah, I feel like they might be resetting that. Yeah, it looks like they're going to maybe adjust the laps, I think, potentially here.
Yeah, this is going to be a yellow because of the timing and scoring issue where Pat Reiser is the leader, because that's coming through iRacing. That's not even coming just through the ATVO system. So something's gone wrong with timing and scoring from iRacing, and that's what's causing this incident. The pace truck going to try to pick up Pat Reiser here. Yeah, so that will be why.
Will our race moderators and race directors be able to reset things here back to that previous lap and put Reiser to where he was supposed to be, which I believe is tail of the field, Joe?
Yes.
Or are we going to be looking at like a green-white checker situation?
Well, we are going to have a green-white checker situation as a result of this, absolutely. But I think... Oh, Pat's not giving up his position quite yet.
Now he gets waved around the pace truck.
Yeah, but he's got to let the field go past him. He can't catch up to the rear. He's got to go to the... He's got to let everybody past him to then come through. Otherwise, iRacing's still going to think he's the leader. We got a timing and scoring issue going on. We got Matt DeRitter getting up there. Everybody's trying to pack in the top of the racetrack. We're going to have a green-white checker. We're going to have a lot of... This is going to be a very hectic end to what started out as an incredibly good race, an incredibly clean and efficient event.
All right, so I don't think we've got the timing and scoring totally fixed, so we'll just have to keep an eye on the front of the field as we're back to green, Joe, and it's all Jamie Porter at the front. He gets by Cody Higbee on that last restart, and now it looks like what was a Cody Higbee 3-for-3 three-peat now appears to be the Jamie Porter show. Can he hang on?
He coming down the back straightaway for the final time here. As into the final set of corners, Beagle and Susie try to go at Higbee. It's not going to happen for them. Jamie Porter back on the block and at the top step. The 45 car gets to the finish, and he will take down the Cody Higbee show. And Jamie Porter gets his first race win of the season.
That was pretty wild at the end there. I'm not 100% sure if everybody knew that the checkered was out. I think these drivers might be as confused as us, but all I know is that Jamie Porter in the 45 is the winner, and we're going to talk to him in a second here and ask him about if he even knows what's going on at the end of this race.
Yeah, we'll give him a quick second here. I want to check the gap.
Oh, Plank was not happy. I almost wonder if that was more than a congratulations.
Wonder. Yeah, I could see that. My ATVO told me that the final lap was a lap before what is coming up on ATVO itself. And I know this isn't a personal issue like on my end because all of these numbers are the same inside of iRacing. I really honestly don't know. I just don't know. But that's okay. We're going to pull our top 3 in. So we will talk to Jamie Porter, Cody Higbee, and Ryan Susi. We'll wait for them just a quick second. I think Matt DeRitter and Corby Daniels are talking through what to do here. And we'll try to, let's move them down, and we'll get Susi and Higbee as well. Let me bring down Susi and Higbee. And all right, took us a second to get things put together here, but put together is not quite what happened with timing and scoring. But Jamie Porter, doesn't matter. You had a fantastic run to the finish. Talk to me about whatever the hell that end of the race was.
Your guess is as good as mine on that one. I don't know. I think that was good racing. Everybody was pretty calm, cool, and collected towards the end, and just racing hard.
Talk to me about setting that up, because Cody Higbee, dominator. Like, has just been so good to start this season off, and you were very strong earlier in the race too, but you come down to crunch time, you're put in that position. How do you snooker a guy who's led the most laps of every single race we've run so far?
Yeah, that was mostly just luck. That caution came out at the perfect time because I think another lap Cody would have got me back and then just walked away with it like he did the rest of the race. But yeah, it was all just luck and timing, I guess.
And tell me about this racetrack compared to some others. I know you've got wins at big racetracks. Just checking back really quick, last year you won at Knoxville. And I remember, 2 years or maybe last year, you almost won at Port Royal too. You've got the big tracks down, but tonight you got a small track down. Do you think you're more of a big track guy, or do you have that versatility in yourself? Or like, how do you keep yourself active on a track this small?
Yeah, I don't know. I usually suck at these small tracks, so picking up a win is huge. But yeah, usually the big tracks, I just balls to the wall and hope she sticks is usually my motto. But here it takes more finesse, so just be sitting here right now is kind of unreal right now.
Well, with the way that race ended, a lot of what happened at the end of it probably feels kind of unreal, the timing error and extra laps and all of that stuff. But hey, Jamie Porter, doesn't matter. You got it to the finish, and you got it to the finish first. Who do you have to thank and shout out here on the broadcast for your run tonight?
St. Catharines Marina, Rouse Motorsports. I know Brad's watching, so shout out to him. MDR Designs for making this car. It's a little old, but it's seeming to work, so I'm going to keep it on for a while.
Hey, man, 2 thumbs up from Elmo on the side of it. You must be doing something right. Congratulations, my guy.
Thank you. And
there's Jamie Porter at the end of this one. A phenomenal, exciting run to the finish for him. And why not? Let's go down and talk to Mr. Second Place. I believe he's second place, at least. I think Pat Reiser's trying to get in the picture here for the podium, but we'll give Cody Higbee off to Jonathan Howe. Jonathan, take it away, brother.
Cody Higbee, it's Jonathan Howe up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, congrats on another great run. It really looked like you were going to make the hat trick happen in the middle portion of that race. Talk to me about the line that you were running and pointing it up off the top side, down the middle, and what was making you so good through the middle part of that race.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the best races I've had on iRacing in general. And, me and Jamie had a really good race there at the end. I guess on that restart, I should have probably went to the middle instead of shooting up to the top. But, you live and you learn. But, yeah, I was kind of running that cut down line, and it was working really good for me, especially during that long run. So I don't know. I just found the middle there towards the beginning, and then just kind of rode from there.
And then talk to me about the end of the race. You mentioned maybe going to the middle might have been the move on that one restart, but you did get another crack at him. What else did you need there to maybe get back by the 45 and steal the win back at the end of the night?
Yeah, I probably just needed some more laps. Like you said, I should have probably went to the middle on that double file restart there instead of cutting across the track and go across all that slick and, try to hit the top. But, yeah, I guess if I just would have went through the middle and kind of slid it up to Jamie instead of arcing it out like that, maybe I could have had a little bit more track position on him and just kind of kept it out front because that cutoff line was working, but it was really only for me in clean air in general. When cars were on me, it really wouldn't work that great.
Well, you still had a great run, great effort, and this will definitely help keep you at the top of the points table here early in the season. Congrats on the second place and back on the podium. Cody Higbee, thanks for being a part of the show.
Yeah, thank you. Congrats to Jamie and Ryan especially.
Absolutely a great run from Ryan back here, too. We'll have to talk to him. Coming off of a tough race at the Axton Strong 60. That he didn't really want that, but he does end up on the podium, and we'll get to talk to him here. Ryan Susi, it's Joe Donahue up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, loud and clear, buddy.
All right, Ryan. Hey, man, podium. You got one in finally, and this was a racetrack you won at last year, so I feel like you probably had high hopes for this evening.
Generally the same as normal, just don't crash or do anything stupid. I failed at that on the lap. I think it was like midway through the race, probably around 55 or so. There was a restart. And I kind of got started right in the center of 3 and 4, and when I got on the gas, lifted the left front up and pushed to the right and smashed into Dom and got all crossed up and went way back. So then after that, I was just kind of pissed off teenager mode, trying different things, and I found some good momentum through kind of rolling in real high and crossing the track, and got lucky on some restarts and some yellows falling our way, and just worked our way up.
What is the strategy in that situation? You're mentioning sort of you're seeing red, but you have to strategically get yourself back into a position to at least compete for a podium or a win in a race. How do you attack that? How long of a run you have and how short of a racetrack it is at getting yourself back up to the front? What are you watching for and responding to bring yourself forward?
The most probably important thing here is the way that the track kind of fans out. The bottom, you got to really stop, and the top, you got to really kind of keep it wound up against right against the fence. And when you're running 14th, 15th, there's cars in both lanes, and there's nowhere to go. So you kind of just got to pick and choose where other people aren't, and then when it gets slippery like this, it really just comes down to momentum and not wheel spinning. Just like in real life, it's kind of the same strategy in big cars in real life when we're doing it. So when it gets slippery and there's not grip to be found, you kind of just got to use your momentum and find whatever available grip you can on the racetrack. So at that point, it's just dodging where everybody else is and trying not to make any mistakes or getting the wall too hard.
And tell me about the momentum now that you can bring forward with this. Your season did not start off as well as other seasons have for you in the past. A 17th and a 22nd to your name, and now a third place gets added to that. Does this entice you and bring you forward into a new run of some good performances? How does this help you moving forward?
Any little bit of confidence, whether it's in a simulation or in real life, it's always good, in racing. Building off that momentum and what you're doing. The most important thing, and you see it with the guys who race a lot here, Higbee and Beagle, and, Porter, congrats to all them for a good race, but all those guys probably spend 3 times the amount of time I do on this thing. So being able to sit down now that we're into the winter months and a little more time available, I can actually sit down and prepare a little bit and get on, even if you get on practice for 10, 15 minutes, it's better than nothing. So I hadn't practiced at all on the new tire model or anything since, beginning, ever since the end of last season. So the first couple weeks, it was probably more just trying to shake off some of that rust. But now I'm kind of getting used to everything and just get back into the swing of things.
Oh, hey, you got to knock the rust off a little bit. And Ryan, you finally did it. Here tonight, you got yourself a P3. Who do you have to shout out and thank for getting in tonight, getting on the podium?
Just Beef and Matt and all the guys at the series, you guys in the booth, and everybody that takes the time to watch us, play video games on a Monday night. It's a pretty cool deal to do this in the winter and, talk with our buddies and, talk smack and have some fun.
Plenty of smack talk goes down in these races. We censor it out of the broadcast a little bit, but it can get a little heated down there. But hey, Team Axton back into the top 3. Congratulations, Ryan.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks.
And there he is, Ryan Susi, rounding out your podium tonight. Jonathan, a good run, and there's the teach in there. It has been confirmed from our race control crew. It was something about that one yellow, not the yellow where he was leading, but the yellow prior when he took the green as the leader. It was something to do with just the timing and scoring of where he was on track when he was awarded the lucky dog, which is the first lapped car down gets their lap back, and something about where he was physically on the racetrack. iRacing just got something wrong and somehow put him 2 laps up. So instead of being a lap down, he was scored as the leader, that he had passed everybody twice. And they attempted to fix it. Didn't quite happen perfectly. And that's why when we pull the results up here, Pat Reiser is going to be shown as the leader, as the winner, I should say. That should not be correct. He should be in 14th place. So Jamie Porter is your race winner. Cody Higbee behind him, then Ryan Susi, Ryan Beagle, Nick Sheridan, Dominic Rosselli, Gavin Isley, Jeff Sharp, Brian Berger, and then Dean Reynolds will round out the top 10. Then it's Dean Meitzler in 11th, Travis Cunningham 12th, Richie Pereira in 13th. Then it would be Pat Reiser. Then you've got Matt DeRitter, Corby Daniels, Brandon Plank, Tyler Joshambowski, Liam Daniels, Adam Hilton, Anthony Rosselli, and Alan Sleight rounding out the field. That is the lowdown on it, and that's kind of a shame because, Jonathan, we had so much good action, phenomenal performances from a lot of guys, and unfortunately just a little miscue on some numbers and ones and zeros threw a big wrench at what ended this race tonight.
Yeah, you hate to see it for those involved, but at the end of the day, we still got a great show. It was a good race and a very deserving winner. We talked about Jamie Porter. He took the lead early, then he kind of surrendered the lead, fell back a little bit, and I kind of wondered about that, whether he was saving his stuff. And obviously, he saved a little something at the end because he was able to get back by Cody Higbee and win this one and hold him off on a green-white checker as well at that. So, all in all, good stuff from Limaland. I'm really liking these short tracks.
Yeah, the short track racing with this series has been exciting for a couple of years, especially now. I think back to when Matt DeRitter won his first race that I had broadcasted. It was only his second win in the series ever. It was 2019. I think that was pre-COVID even. It might have been it would have been right after COVID. But Matt, he won at Lanier, and that was back when he was sort of in his development years, if you will. He was getting better every week, but he wasn't necessarily a top dog every week. And that was such a phenomenal race that they put Lanier on the schedule twice the next season and then kept it that way. And it's now changed, but these short tracks bring an exceptionally good program to us. So now the question, Jonathan, Cedar Lake isn't quite a short track per se. It races kind of like one. Some people argue it is. Does it translate from tonight? Do we see more of the same? That's the question.
I mean, it's tough to say. I feel like when you're talking about more of the same, it's about more of the same guys towards the front of the field. Cody Higbee, going to be strong. Brandon Plank, going to be strong. Jamie Porter, going to be strong. Ryan Beagle. There's so many names at the front of the field each and every week that you're like, yeah, that guy can win. There's, 10 drivers, I think, on any given week that we could say could win. So the strongest drivers are going to be the strongest drivers, but the field will continue to tighten up. And I would say tonight, especially on those longer green flag runs, we just saw how tight this field can get as we had cars on top of each other for every position on the racetrack, including the lead at times.
On top of each other, objectively speaking, yeah. It's been a phenomenal race tonight. We hope everybody has enjoyed the show. I've got Jonathan beside me, as always, which is a pleasure. We want to make a shout-out and thank Sleight Electrical for sponsoring tonight's showdown. Shout-out to Alan. There's a Facebook link down below to check out Sleight Electrical service there. MDR Designs, Murder Graphics, Southern Ontario Dirt Show, Creative Turnings, Dig Race Products, 47 Technology, and BRPtv for being a part of the program week in, week out. Only 1 week's time from now, we will head up to Wisconsin and Cedar Lake Speedway to do a 75-lap race to follow up what has been a great performance tonight. But on behalf of everybody there, Matt DeRitter and Corby with the BRP TV and the BRP iRacing series, and Jonathan beside me, all of our partners and sponsors, everybody who's been tuning in. We had a lot of people here watching tonight. Thank you guys for your continued support of this series, and be sure to check in with us and tune in with us in 1 week's time, as we will see you all in the Cheese State. Take it easy, everybody.